Welcome to a brand new episode of the Oracles. My name is Manelisi, and unfortunately, the beautiful, the superstar Oracle Zima Zibu is not able to join us, but hopefully she'll be able to join us a bit later on. Now, our guest this week is a gentleman from Winterveldt in Pretoria. He's a singer, rapper, songwriter, and graphic designer. His journey in music officially began in 2013 at the South African State Theatre's Youth Expressions Festival. And since then, he has been on the up and up. Since then, he hasn't been a stranger to TV, radio, and major stages. In 2015, he was on Idols. In 2018, he released his first EP, and OK August. In 2019, he released the mixtape, The Storybook, and that was followed by 5 other projects, the latest being an EP titled Global. I first met this guy in August last year at Speaker's Yeno-san video shoot, and since I discovered his music, I just knew that he has something special within him. He's a true musician with major respect for his craft and the art itself. One of the more exciting rappers and singers out there today. If there was a way to bet on a person's career, I'd put everything I have on him becoming one of the biggest musicians to come out of South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, today the Oracles are honored to bring to you a young man with an incredible voice and strong penmanship. He is from the capital city, Pretoria, and he's a true student of the music game. At birth, his parents named him Ora Kola, but we know him as Ora Kola. Ora, how you doing, man?
I'm all blessed up, man. That's an intro and a half. I feel like a superstar right
now. Oh man, this is a manifestation. This manifestation of Ora Kola becoming a superstar, man.
Yeah, I'm in there with you. Believe me. I was hearing every word. I was like, yes. It's worse because it's like you're affirming things I've written down before.
Yeah.
Just greatest out of Africa would make me happy. Let me just make the music and the other things will on their own.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for to see them to see you see it that way too. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, no man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And something that Z and I always say is that everyone that we have on this podcast is someone we believe in and someone whose future we see being bright and having a lot coming their way in terms of the art, in terms of the music. And you're 100% one of those people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salute. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah. So usually with our guests, I like to start with the name. Now, I'm assuming that Ora is short for Ora Pele, which is your full name.
Yes.
Why did you choose to go with that name?
This is actually perfect for the show because my first stage name was Oracle. And I kept Oracle for a while, and I picked it up because my brother was paging through the dictionary for Skela, and then he found the word, and he was like, since it has Ora, it kind of makes sense for you because it says the meaning that was there said a wise advisor, which is what caught me more than anything. So I was like, hey, from the writing, that's normally what I'm trying to do, you know. So it felt very fitting. And we kept the name for years, bruh. And then later on, I was like, Mara, Oracle, I think still sounds like Ora Kola, you know?
Yeah.
So when I went to audition for Idols and the Ora Kola thing kind of stuck and people could now notice me off. I already enjoy being Ora anyway, so rather just flow with the name.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, am I actually saying your name correctly? Is it Urapeleng or Orapeleng?
Orapeleng.
Orapeleng.
Yeah.
And why? Have you ever asked your parents, or have they ever explained why that name for you?
I never really went searching about it, but Mama Kimurudi, so it kind of went, you know.
Yeah.
You probably just heard it in the Bible one day. You're like, I like this one. I'm gonna call my baby this.
Yeah. Yeah, but Just to make sure, how far away is it from Tapelo? Does it have the same meaning? Is it prayer?
It is prayer, but then you're like it's like when a Tswana Bible is written, bare o rapeleng modimo o siame, which would say, praise the Lord, he is great.
Oh,
So
okay.
like my name means that praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just that it's Kekastswana.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Because what I'm alluding to is that it kind of makes sense why you and Speaker have such a great relationship because he's Tapelo and you are
Oh, damn.
Orapeleng.
I had never thought of it that way, and
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense now.
Yeah.
Even how easy the flow is with Uspika Joe is it makes everything make sense now
So,
because I was
yeah.
like, hey man, this man, I never struggled to communicate no speaker, even when I'm not okay or when I always say with hey, Uncle Gren, but then with other people it's kind of hard to say that. But with
Yeah.
him it's always been free, and then now you just kind of opened my mind to another
Yeah.
angle of
Yeah.
it.
How did you get to meet Speaker, by the way? Because I understand you guys
I,
have known each other for a while.
I had always been a fan, which is a thing that's coming out right now. But I think
Yeah.
he could see it himself. Good that we fan,
Yeah.
but because of season scoop times,
Hmm.
I would always be hearing his beats on there, and I would always want to go to season scoop mainly to go rap on a speaker beat. So I never got to, be one of the guys who went to season school because uhlalale, awunane transport, umncane. So it never just
Yeah.
it could never work out. But I would always be listening. And because of Abo Mickey M, Nabustandani, who would get to be on those beats, I would lose my mind. And the speaker would, I think at some point came into the studio for, all of that made me go, okay, I like this nigga. And he's and then I'm in Pumangara, Nkulele Corner. So etleni futhi so kuwes yabo ukuthi nje
Yeah.
I never got to meet him when I stayed there. I only met him like years later. It kind of had to happen. We even went to the same school at Ditelo. We find these things out later. Oh my God, there's always been kind of links that were always gonna at some point bring us together. But me,
Yeah.
I'm inbox to speak. I'm Joe. I see what you're doing with your platform, and I'd love to come rap on there. And I think I'm dope enough. If you hear my stuff, you might just. And he
Yeah.
did. It didn't take long, futhi. Ngasuka lang khona ngaya kuye eGlenny, and then we went and shot our first episode, Leno Sbila, which was amazing. Sbila of Bantu speaking.
Yeah.
So that was dope. And then that was like the start of everything. After that, he would call me up for, my anniversary and stuff. Cause yeah, sister.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I just want to go back a little bit to your childhood. Can you
Yeah.
tell us what your childhood was like? Like growing up, was the music around, or are you the only one in the family who's like a music person?
Yo, I have vinyls. I'm gonna record.
Yeah,
I have vinyls, like stacks of them from my mom because she would order the thing from wherever, whatever country. And then when they come in, she goes to fetch at like the post offices and stuff. Imagine how much love for music you would have to be doing that many years ago.
interesting. Yeah,
So because because of that, she had the records playing in the house all throughout our childhood. Like you would hear jazz, you would hear Abo Bentin, which is people I wasn't supposed to know. Like people, even older people who came to my house would be surprised. How does this kid know lyrics to these songs?
so
Because I've seen Tangazaki, Abo Bentini, Nalez's Shayamache, Nabo Isaac Hayes. For me to know stand accused word for word just does not make sense as a kid. So it just because my mama had beautiful music playing in the house, it made I was exposed to the jazz. I was exposed to country music, like all kinds of sounds. And because she's a priest, it was also church stuff. So
mm,
now you're there with the gospel. You're just never choosy with the music because there's all kinds of music around you. And my brother also loved house music a lot. So because of that, Leah now fagile into the world of house. So I would listen to with DJ Fresh, I would listen to Askido's church groups with him. Like all of those music had just always been around me. My sister sings too. And I would always say over the years, she sings better than me. And I stand on it. It's amazing. My sister sings too. And Wabanor music has just always been in there. My brother, Abu Gaiso, who passed away, couldn't sing for Jack. But when he was in his car playing the music, he would sing his lungs out. However the notes go is not his problem. As long as he knows the lyrics to the thing, he goes. So because of all of that, I could not miss it. It was always just in there. I even remember times in life according to what song was trending then. Like, because that's what was important to me. I know ukuthi makupopa ulo konjuban ukilakao. I had already said after seeing him on just a clip that was trending on Twitter, ukuthi this boy is a star and he might just do incredible. And I was not surprised because I was like, okay, I did say and for me to always know what a star was made me feel like when it's my turn, I will also know. So I would rather just focusing on making the music because clearly I can pick it up when it's time. So rather get where the main focus be, let's make the music. So because of that childhood, that's what kind of directed my sound, my mindset, or the way I make the music too.
Well, and do you guys still have a record player at home where you are able to play all these vinyls?
No, I don't have like the record thing. Yeah. But I want to buy a record player because I have the record.
Because,
I also want to sample a lot of stuff because I don't like sampling now, even though we do songs. I just don't like oversampling now and then having to go explain to Smangmang about the music. I was like, okay, I'm keeping these records for a time where I can have, access to these things that I want out of these songs. And it would be nice to just, be at the right time,
Yeah.
So I still have them. I'm keeping them. They're like my treasure.
Yeah, because I can sort of imagine what your Saturday mornings were like. Because between your mother and my mother, and that's the reason why I can almost imagine it. Because my mother also collected quite a lot of music with us growing up.
Yeah.
She didn't have like vinyls or whatever, but there were a lot of CDs in the house. And every Saturday, would be listening to like Boshade, listening to UB40, be listening to what was this? It's just a huge range of music, but Al Jarreau and all that. So I can kind of imagine what your Saturdays were like, or Saturday mornings were like. Yeah, with all of those records playing in the background while there's some cleaning going on, or you're playing around or whatever.
Yeah, blame. And it was exactly that. It was it was exactly that. Like all the time there was music playing in the background. If it's not my brother playing it, it's Olady playing it. If it's not, there's always someone trying to play some kind of sound. So you're always there exposed to all these kinds of music.
Yeah. And do you remember the first CD or tape or whatever that you ever bought for yourself?
That I got. Well, we actually went and got who's this? Anthony Hamilton's album, where he was doing Another Day, Chance to Make Another Change. Do you know that song?
Yeah. I know that one.
On that project, that's what Olady literally introduced us to that man's music. It's like she knew we would like it. And then she was like, okay. So when we went there and bought the thing, I was there and that's a full experience of having bought a CD, or having gotten something out of a music store.
And it's quite sad when I think about it, because getting music now is not like getting it back then. Because I remember I think my first CD that was ever bought for me was Asher's Confessions when it had just come out.
Yeah.
And at some point I had I bought Jay-Z's American Gangster, and flipping through like the little booklet in the cover, you know, you'd see all these um, all the credits to the album. Some
Yeah,
of them would have the lyrics and all of that, and even just the feel of the CD, the excitement of having the CD
yeah,
and having to play it for the first time. It was just another time.
yeah.
It was very very different from what it is now. Because right now someone could
I'm feeling-
yeah could release an album and can just listen to it just like that, and the experience is not the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
I think I think it's also good and bad because it also makes it's like people don't respect what it takes to then make the thing because it doesn't because it's easily accessible now.
Yeah.
Before people respected how Bo Isaac Hayes and them made the thing because you could hear how people craft their thing, and then now they had to go produce it and then make sure it gets in the stores and all of that. But then
Yeah.
now it's like it's online, so people are like, go easy. I'm like, hey, do you know what goes into the whole craftsmanship of the whole thing? Because at some point I don't want to just make songs or be another guy who makes tracks. Just it's always just no, a bit more music. Let's hear what more we can do to this. So because of such things, I think it kind of messed it up and also helped make music accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
hear you. I hear you. And while we're there, is there like a particular producer or artist that you would love to get in studio with?
Um I would love to partner with Pharrell, Joe. If Pharrell would produce a project for me, I would be the happy. The day you see me with Pharrell, you should know how
Yeah.
happiest I've ever been. The day you see me in studio with that man, you should know what I grand. And
Yeah.
then Scissor is also someone else who feels very special to me. Like when I listen to her music, I'm like, oh my God. So this thing can be taken further. There's always much further. There's always just you so much more that could happen to the music. So I think Farah and Scissor, those two are gonna be my now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I want to see what me and Spaghetti would cook up, Joe. I've always just wanted that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you. I get you, especially about speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's something that has always been a wonder to me, especially when we talk about Kwaito in general. It's always been a wonder to me how music can be so universal, especially the understanding of creating music. When you look at the likes of Bomandla Spikiri, you consider the likes of Nduma Masilela, Mandoza, their understanding of how a song should be made and how well they made it.
yeah.
It's not that much different from to seeing how Quincy Jones made his music or how Michael
Yes,
Jackson made his
yes.
music. It's like I don't know, man. It's a very, very a spiritual thing. So having to work with the speaker, as you said, I would love to see him work. I would love to see him at his
Yeah,
absolute best, just in studio, and how he does all of that.
yeah. Ishman, I really think it would be something magical that happens there.
Yeah, and now I want us to start getting into your music.
Yeah.
Starting in the early days, when did you realize that music is something that you can do and something that you want to do?
Um, Ish, Mina, yabona nasisikyela, Joe, when they were asking what we want to do, I just wanted to say singing, but then it's like they made it sound wrong to do that. So I was always afraid to like out loud say, mina ngifuna ukucula, afraid like angazi ukuthi yini ngani nalezinye izinto, but not just. But then it just felt like you're rebelling in a way, or you just don't want to do hard labor. People like saying that as if the creating is not. It's just been yo dog. It had just felt like that, but then I in between kind of found the drawing, like the sketching. I wanted to do the drawing, but then the music was always kind of pulling because whenever I'd be singing, that's when I'd get the most freedom. Like even when I'm in church, it feels like I'm a different singer than the guy who's singing the R&B song or the raps, or it just there's just something that happens with the music that isn't that feels more powerful than everything else. Like so much that even if I would lose out on certain things, as long as I had the music, it felt like life is fine. Yeah, which was both a good and bad thing, you know, because then it makes you not. It would have you not appreciating certain things because they are not music. And ish man, but then in growing into it, you end up seeing it's because this is what you're actually meant to do. It's because you love it. It's because you know impila ends a sense without the thing, you know. And I had always been the kid who had earphones. Like radio angaga, I would buy it. I had that radio. When put the CD in, we had the CD one. When there was a cassette thing, we had the cassette one. So it's just whenever there's music, I would always find a way to go be listening, even if it wasn't a thing from my generation. That's why I knew Lady Vaina because I would always ask Mama or Kante I still play music however young I was, you know, because I loved it that much. So it was always just a certain thing to me. This is the thing I would do. And it was worse because the inspirations were close. When we were staying in Meadowlands, Tandiswa Mazwai was up the street. Kohabo was just up the street. And then the same street, Honale Taveneda, but Trompisi are always coming through there. So you kind of see the thing come happening around you. So you know it's possible. So it felt Nyaga stayed like a zone away from us, and we would see him these nice cars, and I'm like, hey man, Riti Senyaga, Rabone Dimense literally become in front of us, you know? And for me, it felt very real from then, you know. That's why I kind of never wavered. Like I always just said, nine ding from against. And even when life would pull and other things would be happening, I would always just find time for the music.
Like how mind blowing was it staying in Meadowlands and knowing Gutsi very close by this Taniswa Mazwai, knowing that Itrompis was right here performing very close by, and at any given time. You had all these celebrities come from areas or homes that are very close to you. How mind blowing was that for you growing up, or was it just another thing? Which it's just these guys.
Mina, because of the love I had for entertainment and music, it was a lot for me. But then it wasn't a thing I could share with all the other friends. It was just like a marvel to me. And I would always just be like, and I would always find ways to get close. I don't know if it was Tandi's uncle or something. Umkulmakong was a person I knew too as a kid because I just liked going to him and chilling with him. So because of that, because I had like a straight connection with him, I would always just try up here. Why you're welcome because so it would man, it would kind of mellow some things. Even the Tavenegering Dementia would be chilling at was also someone or lady knew. So I would also be able to just go get mixenyana just to see them and then get because you can't do any more than that. You just go in there, you get to see the thing you want to become. So hey man, it was amazing. It felt very amazing.
Yeah, but what do you think it is about these places, especially when you think about Soweto, with all these people, and they're usually all around the same genre. It's either Kwaito or Afropop, all coming from similar areas like Ezola. Countless people coming out from Ezola. Meadowlands, countless people coming out of there. What do you think it is about these places that breeds such great talent?
It could also be the struggles of it, man, because I'm Funugba, the politician, but because of just the fact that Ekasi Gumnyam, you know, Ekasi kasi kumnyama. So everyone is always just trying to find something to do that unconsciously could bring them closer to the white
Yeah.
side of life. Something that could bring us closer to the white side of life. But then in the process of trying to chase that, we ended up finding ourselves, because it's like people were looking for that, but then they got creative and they were like, oh, damn it. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the thing happened on its own, and then now it's out of our hands, because the creativity is now flowing, because it's a thing we started thinking was pain, Gandhi. It was just an activation of something greater,
Yeah.
and yeah, I feel like that's also a thing life is, like the bad things that keep happening, and then we're like, yo, I will never get out of this, and then when you do, that was like one of the best things that could have happened to
But
make you even greater, like,
yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. Now, in 2015, you went on Idols. What inspired that decision to go to go on Idols?
I get I guess in 2014, I actually went, but then I never got through, because I think it's only Unati who said yes. And Randall was saying it's because my breathing is not a thing we could fix in the little time that was left before theater week. So
Yeah.
for me, that felt like a great reason. Like, I was like, okay, cool, dog. Like, I understand.
So,
I'll go home and practice and fix my breathing. I'll come back.
yeah.
So when I went in 2015, it was, I think, with the mindset of getting the golden ticket vele, which is why we got it.
Mm,
I think the mindset before was not certain. There was just always, I'm trying this out. But then the second time it was like they already said 1, 2, 3, so I could fix 1, 2, 3 in order to try do better. So when I came through and felt like I did better, it felt, yo man, it felt worth it. And
yeah.
I was also trying to singing, because I was already just rapping a lot, and I was like, but the nah, if voice corner, I asked what corner, but you're doing nothing about it. So Idols was trying to learn things that would help me sing better, because I felt I could see how they teach people there. Like, it's not just the competition. There's also so much learning that comes with it. So I
Mm,
thought I would learn more about being a singer from trying out such a thing. And yeah, I guess that actually is what happened.
yeah. And when you went the second time, did they remember you from the previous year?
They did. I remember I was even called Ora.
Yeah.
Literally by name. I was like, yes, Lord.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but then Randall was saying, Wuti, well, when I went that time, they didn't speak about the first time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a thing. But then, yes, since that time I only went to theater week. I went the other time again, like the year after that. So I
Yeah.
went there like twice, but then managed to like get through and get all 4 yeses the first time, which was awesome.
Yeah. No, man. But what was the experience like being there on Idols? Is there other elements of it that you still carry with you today?
Yeah, definitely. It's a whole, well, first there was a whole lot of free stuff, so it was very nice. but
Yeah.
but there was also a lot of teachings that happened, and we got lucky because we went to there's a season where we went to the Maslow first in Santon
Yeah.
for like a I don't know, like a masterclass of sorts before theater week. So they would be able to like pick there which ones get to go to theater week, because
Okay.
now, yes, but then in that process they got Abo Kayam Teto and them to come teach us certain things, which was very nice. It was a beautiful experience, and I think that those things are things that I still use now when I sing, when I make music, when I because it's things I literally sat and listened, because
Yeah.
so I wanted I just wanted to know. So I was just a sponge when I was there.
Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, I know, I get it. I get it. Now, I want us to get
Hey,
because
Shadi, because my beanie is burning me.
is it? No, it's okay. You can keep it off. You can keep it off. So I want us to get into your projects.
Yeah.
Your debut project was an OK August. Can you tell us about that? And what was the inspiration behind it?
Uh, well, August is always known to be windy.
Hmm.
Um, well, it is not known to be
Yeah,
windy, dusty. Um, what could go right? It looks like that. Like it looks like what could go right. Because
right.
mind you, no more. Yeah, it's just. But then at that time, it felt like an okay August for me. Like it
Hmm.
wasn't that bad. Agna no more man this year, yes. But I meant it like as in my life. It's a season, even in the season where it's supposed to be wah wah wah. Now I feel okay. And it was also an Ora Kola August
Yeah.
because I was dropping in August. So I was like, it's my
Yeah.
August, this one.
Yeah, so it turned out to be an OK August because Ora dropped on August.
Yeah, it really turned out to be a very okay
Yeah.
August.
And of all the projects that you've released so far, which would you say has been your favorite?
My favorite has been Aura because,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, because Aura, even the things I'm speaking about there, it came at a time where I thought things were not gonna come back to normal. Like when things are just spiraling, for certain you're depressed, but you can't really point it out. You're
Yeah.
just there like every day, like why did I have to wake up? I can't wait to sleep. Like, but then at some point you find yourself out of that because of the music. So
Mm.
that's that was Aura. That's how Aura happened. Like I came out of so much, and I just don't know how it happened, but I figured out. I made a plan. I didn't let myself be defeated by it, and Aura felt like that project where I told all of. So yeah, it also was my first project that was on digital stores. So I wanted to make sure people know they're not just buying nonsense.
Yeah.
So even when I went into the store, I was like, we need to make it at a level where when a person has bought it, they don't feel like they wasted their
But
cash.
that's, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and since you journeyed from idols up to Aura, what has that been like for you? Like, how has your life changed through this entire time?
It's been a whole lot of lessons, man, a whole lot of improvement, which is a thing I had been praying for like over the years. My main thing is I want to grow and improve into something undeniable. Like the other things kind of attach themselves to things like that. So I just
Mm.
wanted the part where we make something that's just undeniable, and we shouldn't rush getting to a point where it's undeniable. Like
Yeah.
every time we make it, should be feeling like, yeah, there's always so much more we could learn, so much more to improve on. And even when listening to other music, it's like just hearing more things that could improve your craft too. And you're just there like, oh man, they did this on this song. I could do this way too. And whether or not people think it works on a South African record, not my problem. Let's see how it works for me when I get into the studio. So
Yeah.
it all of those lessons came with like it kind of helped me know how I would want my thing to sound because I've experienced so many different things that still link to music. The performing Libozola and them going to idols, getting to record. There's a guy at Electro Mode at CSR Studios. There's a guy named George there who's like a music geek. He knows what music is.
Yeah.
And he is music, bro. Like even when he's recording you, he would sing it like you're at the Grammys and everyone is watching, even while you're recording it. It's just a recording session, but sing it like they're all watching and you're on stage and it's time. And if you mess it up, then so if someone could give you such a thing, you keep it with you forever. Even when I'm in studio with someone else elsewhere, I'm just there like, okay, it didn't come out like I'm performing at the Grammys. Let's go back. Let's record it again. Let's just, okay, delete that. We're not happy with that take. Let's just do. So all these lessons that come out of all of these things end up making the guy who's like, okay, this might not work. And it also makes it easy to know your sound, your way of doing, because you know other people's way of doing too.
And so now I actually want to because I'm glad that you mentioned all of that, and I want to get into the making of Chipi. Now, Chipi was, I believe, the first single that was on heavy rotation on major radio stations. Now, in making that song, where were you mentally, and how did you approach making that track?
I have to give credit where it's due. Chris Galakis, rest in peace to him. Actually, he passed away, I think, late last year. But yeah, Nana, he was like, I hear what you're on, man, but we could flavor this thing. It could, it could become so much more. I hear that you're rapping and you're dope at it, but you sing so good. If we were to just, try this out. And I was there already in a mindset of trying things out. I was already on the storybook trying to figure out how to sing and rap. And, so it came at a perfect time when I was already experimenting on that. And then now I'm getting kind of a bigger platform to distribute this thing I'm already playing with, but then now it's like with these guys, it will be better released. It will at least be pushed better. So I was like, okay, cool. This is a sound I could actually play around on, which actually is the sound that then became, because Vele, I was trying to do the rap and sing. I was trying to figure out how to make it one thing. And then when you switched it into the rapping, it's like you stopped or some other guy came in. I wanted the free flow of it that I could hear from like my favorite artists when I listen to them too. So yeah.
And well, but how was it hearing yourself on major radio stations? I mean, switching on to Metro, switching on to Y.
It was mad. I couldn't believe when I was listening to Metro FM and it was Pearl and Thomas. And then they played the song, and then after that, I announced that, and that was Ora Kola with Chipi. And then he's like, we love that song here. I was like, what? Do you know what you are saying about me, my man? Do you know in the Bundus, they don't know I made the song that's on your station right now. It was just, man, it was mad things. Uktola Igagasi FM playing that song so much when it's like a Zulu community on that side, but they playing it so much more than these other stations. It was just a very beautiful thing to witness, especially for us who hardly ever got on radio, My first radio thing was with Zeph. Zeph Beats was the one who had put me on radio for the first time, and we didn't get major rotation, we only caught 1, 2, 3. So it felt like an elevation from what we had started, and I was happy with it. I was happy with the growth and like the progress of it.
Yeah, and in terms of the stages that you've been on, because you've been on at Back to the City, I saw you perform there, and you guys killed, by the way. Which stage would you say so far has been your favorite?
Right now, Back to the City.
Yeah,
that's why it's even on, that's why it's even on this song, on Iron, on this new project. That's been my highlight so far. And salute to Speaker for that, actually.
Yeah.
Because Yeah, that's been, like one of the hardest performances, especially also with how Ferga and Infectus handled their thing right before. It
Mm.
was just, I feel like Speaker had a full plan for that performance, man.
Yeah.
It went crazy. It was
Yeah.
so yeah, I think because of the whole Gevrage coming there to just support. Do you know how magical those two are? And they're just there singing your lyrics out, you know. And I think Freestyle Friday seconds that.
Yeah.
The Freestyle Friday performance for yes on Channel O,
So, yeah.
that was yes, those two are them.
Yeah. Because it's actually a bit weird for me that they actually stopped doing that. Because Freestyle Fridays was huge for hip hop when it was still running.
But yeah,
Yeah, led by Stogie, of course, started by him. Do you know why they stopped doing Freestyle Fridays?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I was hoping it does come back too. I was hoping, you know, it
Yeah.
grows further because it was growing too. So I don't know what went wrong. But then when Vince Staples was saying that it's already the agenda to like kind of slow down black music, and
Oh,
it's happened, you know, in our eyes.
yeah.
The thing he was saying kind of translates even in how shows like that would just randomly disappear on us, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that is disappointing actually. Very, very
Mm.
disappointing. Now, I want us to, before we close off, I want to get into Glocal, which is the latest
Yes,
EP. Please tell us
latest track,
about,
yeah.
yeah, please tell us about that. Also, tell us about the title. Why call it Glocal?
Oh damn. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. this project, this project feels to me like a perfect blend of local and global.
Mm,
So that's why I went with the global title
yeah,
because it was yeah, that's just where we were. Even when I went to Queso, we had already been speaking of um, kind of finding a way to not have Bidori be raps Fastrata fela. Like there's like so much we could bring to the people about Bidori and
yeah,
in so many different ways. There's so many more sounds we could play in and play through just Mara from Bidori. Like still whatever country receives it should feel like they're also accommodated somehow, but still know, damn it, this comes from Bidori because there's a flavor, yeah, Bidori that is also consistent in the songs, that is
mm,
also consistent in the sound. Even while it goes out, it goes globally, it still comes back local. So that was the whole idea with that. And yeah, K Soul and I had always been on that idea, and that's why it didn't even take us forever to cook it. Because the first song we recorded was the High on You. Because when I went to his studio, there was no electricity on and itimagifita.
yeah.
So now we have to wait out those hours. And then because of that, we only got to record one song. But then when I went in for my second session, I recorded all five of the other songs because I already had beats and I had already been taking my time with the work, you know, practicing the songs after I had written them. So I was just ready. So because of how free flowing the project was, it makes it one of my favorite projects in life.
Yeah. All right. But I enjoyed it actually. I enjoyed it. So I have, I'm on Station Head, which is a show that I usually do on Saturdays, for
Yeah,
about an hour at 7 p.m. So I have a segment there where it's like a double play, where I play two
yeah,
songs from a recent album or project or whatever. And
yeah,
the last time that I actually did the show, I had two of your songs on there. And I think one of
yeah.
them yeah, one of them was Mabupane Highway. Please tell us about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it about that song?
Hey man, what a piece! What a piece! That joint, joint, that joint was meant when I was structuring it, or like writing it. My plan was to getting to get my favorite R&B or my favorite music, Mokasiaga. Like I imagined my favorite Winterveldt and like the interactions I have, I wanted to tell them in that way, in like a more, and like this song felt like that, and it felt like that getting importance Yamabubane Highway Mobitor had to be the centerpiece of the song. And I was like, no, this it couldn't be any other street or any other road or any other, especially because it's straight to where I am, Mo Winterveldt, you know, because how fits a highway, yeah, and it's like a perfect example because whoever comes to visit me has to pass Mabopane Highway.
Yeah.
Unless Bata, I don't know, guy, because never, yeah. And it was also a true story. I just kind of made sure I tweak certain things because I don't like people being able to claim my songs and say, "Oh, he wrote that about me."
Yeah.
So I always kind of tweak certain details to make sure the song is more flavorful, but then 99% of the time I tell true stories. So with that song, that was also that. I was just telling a tale of Motu coming from far to come see just waiting. Mfana Gogazi or Rebang Monate just manages to pull someone to drive the whole way to come see him in the woods just because he feels like he's not just a guy, guys. Have you heard his music? I mean, Winterveldt. And then the friends are judging me. Are you gonna drive all the way there to the woods for this boy who raps? And then she's here now. That's why at the end of the song we make it sound like she's arrived now, and then the car is closing the door. Yeah. Because I was like, we need to make it feel like the story has come alive, even while the person is listening. They should feel like they were in there and they saw this happen.
Yeah. No, man. I really enjoy Global. It's something that I still listen to. I still keep going back to. But
salute.
yeah,
I'm grateful.
yeah, and in closing off with your music, what have you? What do you have coming for us?
I have a lot more. Man, I keep saying I wish all I did was make music. I wish like life would allow me to just make music every day. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm a man. There's just after I make one, I always feel like, oh, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we could do more.
Well,
We could do better. We could sharpen this. We could sharpen that. We could until this gives us enough to then, highlight what needs highlighting. Shoot a video for that. Make a little 3-track movie for this. Shoot for that. Do this. Do that. So I'm always making music. I'm always figuring other ways, other sounds, other elements to add to. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be playing around with this music and releasing a lot more of it and a whole lot of features. I've been doing a couple of features too. And what? I want to do visuals for my stuff. So pray with me. At least for a So I want to do a whole lot of visuals for my stuff just to then bring it more to life because the music is already quite visual. Like when you're listening, you can kind of see the things. So I want to bring it to life in a way that makes sense to the music and not just in that I would say shoot and shoot video. I don't like those kinds of things.
Yeah, and also going to see. We're also going to see at this year's anniversary of Sotra Ciphers. Maybe.
I'm not on the 8th. I'm not on the 8th. Sorry. Uspika actually did highlight. It's just that we are using a manjing sasela. So I was worse in the previous weeks, and then it messed with my writing process. I was like, I don't want to disappoint the speaker and come there half prepared. So I told him in time, with the age had him. But then, yeah, not this one, but then probably the next one, probably an exclusive speaker. An exclusive speaker.
Yeah, but also speaking, but then it's also a good thing that you told him that you're not in a space to be able to do it, because he was going to tell you, good time, my guy, this is not the one.
He was, and manje angifuni le experience yabo.
Yeah.
Trauma le, angifuni le trauma.
Yeah, man. No, Ora, it's been a wonderful time, man. It's always a huge pleasure talking with you, and I'm looking forward to meeting you once again. Hopefully it's before it's back. Hopefully it's before back to the city, because I know that will. Yeah, most likely both of us will be there. But it's always a pleasure talking to you, man, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again. And hopefully next time that we actually talk, hopefully next time we talk on the platform, Z will be here. Because I know that she is disappointed that she's not here. She has been texting while we're busy, but yeah, she would she would have loved to be here today. But before we go, is there anything that you would love to say?
Yes, make incredible music before too. Yeah, we don't just make songs. Let's craft this thing. Let's make sure they know that South Africa is not a thing to play with.
Yeah, no, man, I love that. I love that. That is all from us from the Oracles. That is all we have from Ora Kola. And unfortunately, Zio is not here, but hopefully she'll be here next week. But until then, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Please follow Ora Kola's music. I think you can also subscribe on YouTube. They can get you on YouTube, right?
I don't know, but I do have content. I have a whole lot of videos and stuff. YouTube, go Ora Kola, and then everywhere else, socials, go Ora Kola, same thing.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, but so until next week, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Keep well. Until then, cheers.